How to set up your first YouTube ads campaign. Hi, Adam Payne here with the Video Marketing Insider, and in today's video I'm going to show you step by step over the shoulder how to correctly set up your first YouTube ad. And we're going to be focusing on in-stream ads, which are like these videos here, which are the small commercial style videos that appear prior to the video that you had wanted to watch. Now, these can be annoying to a lot of people because for the most part they're not targeted, but done right they're very, very powerful. So without further ado, let's hop on over to our Google Ads account and let's set one of these up for the very first time. Okay, so here we are inside of a brand new Google Ads account, and the reason we're using a brand new one is so that it looks exactly like it's going to look for you if you're doing this for the first time. So once you're inside of your Google Ads account and you're on the overview section, you're going to want to click this button here which asks you to create a new campaign. And from here, you're going to be presented with various choices, and each choice is a goal that you would like to choose to make this campaign successful to you. Now, as a brand new advertiser, you may be tempted to choose something like sales or leads because that may be what you're trying to get. But unfortunately, this isn't going to be the best option for somebody doing this for the very first time. Your pixel or Google snippet is not really going to have any data to go off of. So in that case, I always recommend you choose one of two things. Now, you can create a campaign without a goals guidance, which is what we're going to do here. And this is going to give you more options, but it's also going to allow you to have more control over what you do. Or you can go with website traffic if you want to, and that's another option. Now, there are some people that will advocate brand awareness and reach as well, because if you're new, your brand isn't going to be known by a bunch of people, so that is also an option as well. But we're going to click on this one, create a campaign without a goals guidance, and then we're going to be choosing videos, so we'll click on this, and we're going to create a custom video campaign, so we're going to click on continue. From here, you are going to want to give your campaign a name. Now, of course, when you actually get to this stage, you will have decided whether you're going to run a discovery ad, whether you're going to run an in-stream ad, and hopefully you'll know a little bit about the kind of targeting that you're going to run. So I might call this, for example, IS for in-stream ad, and then we'll call this hyphen. I might call this United States because I'm going to target people in the United States, hyphen, and I might call this keywords because I'm going to target people that are searching for specific keywords. If you don't know this information, then it's really important that you decide this through your own research before you go and create a campaign. This is purely for your own benefit, so that when you come in later on, if you have 2 or 3 campaigns running, you'll know what's what. Now, the bid strategy by default will be maximum CPV. So if we click this little drop down, CPV stands for cost per view. Now, a view is when somebody watches 30 seconds or more of your video, if it's an in-stream ad, or the entire video. It depends whatever comes first. So if you've got a 5-second video, which you wouldn't have, but if you did, then you'd get charged every time somebody watched 5 seconds. You also, of course, get charged if somebody clicks. But if somebody watches your video for, say, 15 seconds and your video is 2 minutes long, and they decide, no, it's not for me, and they skip the ad, then you don't pay a penny. Now, you can click on learn more, and you do have a couple of other options as well. CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions, but we're going to leave this at cost per view. We'll close this off. Now we're going to have our budget. We're going to have a daily budget. Now, be careful that you keep an eye on this. If you set a daily budget of, say, $10 or $15 or $20, then you forget about it, and then you get your bill with your credit card bill through the post. Just be careful that, you've got to keep an eye on this stuff. I've made a mistake where I've had an ad running, forgotten about it, and then suddenly been shocked when I got a bill. So we'll call this $10 a day. You can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars a day. You can spend $5. Basically, budget what you can afford to lose. And that's the mindset you've got to have. You can't expect to hit a home run. You can't expect to make money straight away. You might do. If you do, that's fantastic. If you are lucky, that's great. But your mindset should be, what are you prepared to spend to get data back, and it's not going to put you in a bad situation. You do have the option to have a start date and an end date if it's a specific timed promotion you're running. That's there. Then if we click on this, you're always going to want to uncheck this video partners on the display network. These are certain websites that Google/YouTube have a contract with, and you don't want your video ads being shown on those. I'm just basically going to leave this as is for now. Locations, I have Japan by default because that's where I'm located myself. Wherever you're located, that'll be the country that you have. I'm going to click on this and I'm just going to type in the United States and hit target, because remember when we set up our naming convention up here, we chose the United States. You can have multiple countries, you can have towns, cities, boroughs, zip codes, whatever you want to call it, and you can get quite granular. So if I clicked on advanced search, if I wanted to target a specific local area, I could put in a zip code, a town, a city, whatever it may be. So let's just choose San Diego in the United States. I could target San Diego, then I could click on radius, and I could go down to kilometers and maybe 10 kilometers and hit save. Then I would get rid of the United States, and now I'm targeting anybody within a 10-kilometer radius of San Diego. But as you see here, the number of potential impressions that I get goes way down. So I'm just going to get rid of that and go back to the United States. But you can play around with this and you can see that you can get quite granular. Language, you do not want to have all languages. I'm going to choose English. There are lots of people in the US that speak Spanish. There are people in other English-speaking countries that also speak a second language. If you're targeting Canada and you've got an English ad, don't put all languages because you're going to get a lot of French speakers watching your videos. So, make sure that you actually put the language in. Then we come down here, inventory type. I'm going to leave this at standard for now. And then we click on this one here. This is where you want to exclude your ad from showing. So I do not want my ads to be shown on live streams or embedded videos on third-party sites. That's because I don't believe that they will convert, because if somebody's watching a live stream and then my video appears, that it's highly unlikely that they're going to suddenly be interested in what I've got to say. I generally leave this checked, but some people like to uncheck it. It's really entirely up to you, but I would always advocate you check those two things. Now, if we click on additional settings, I'll briefly walk you through this. Conversions won't matter to a new account because you won't have anything to go by. Devices, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to set specific targeting and I'm going to uncheck TV and tablets for now. You can uncheck one of these and only have your ad show on computers or mobile phones. So if I was to uncheck mobile, now my ad would only be shown on computers. As you can see, that went right down from 10 billion to 3.2. You can leave them both checked, or you can check one or the other, but I would always uncheck tablets and TV screens for now. You can get very granular down here, but we'll leave that for now. We also have frequency capping. This is where we can determine how often we want our ads to be shown to the same user. I'm sure you've experienced where you've seen an ad 3 million times and it can get frustrating. There are pros and cons. People obviously do it because it does work. And people see an ad so many times they think, okay, I've seen it 100 times, I'll check it out. Other people will get really frustrated and make a decision, not to interact with your brand. So you make the call there. We don't have any data in a new account to determine when is the best time to schedule our ads, so we're going to leave that. But if you wanted to, you could play around with this. But again, it's a new account, it's the first time, this is for beginners, so we don't know. Our ad group name, so I'm going to call this keywords. Now, keywords means a bunch of things. Keywords about what? So if you're targeting people that want to lose tummy fat, then your keywords are going to be maybe tummy fat keywords. Are they going to be buyer keywords? Product name review, where to buy product name. Are they going to be keywords that are informational? How to, for example. Are they going to be comparison keywords? A versus B, product A versus product B. You need to know that. So I'm going to call this informational keywords, and we'll choose a random topic. We will call this YouTube ads. Now we come down here for targeting, and we have two sets. We've got people targeting and content targeting. Now, people targeting for demographics is fairly self-explanatory. You should know what kind of demographic you want to target or not. If gender is irrelevant, leave both male and female checked. Now, unknown, I would leave checked throughout this whole thing. Unknown is just basically Google doesn't have any information. Lots of people go and they surf the net without being logged on and all that stuff. They use incognito, they use a VPN, so we don't really know who they are. I know from personal experience that for me, this age group doesn't generally resonate or convert with me, so I will uncheck this. But as we start unchecking things, the amount of traffic is naturally going to go down. If you've got a product that you ideally want to sell, even if you want to sell it further on down the line, you may want to uncheck this. Again, this is entirely up to you, but I'm going to leave it like this. Now we have audiences that we can play around with. If we open up audiences, if we were to click on browse, they've got a bunch of things in here which if you're new, you're probably not going to have set up, but you can target people based on their affinity, based on what they're actively researching, life events. So for example, if I was to click on life events, I can target people, for example, that are getting married soon or are recently married. So if I've got a photography company that does wedding shoots, maybe getting married soon would be a great thing to target in a specific geographic location. If I was going to target, for example, new pets, I've got an e-com store and I'm selling things related to cats or dogs, that could be a great thing to target. And if that were the case, I'd probably choose one of these and have my basic demographic targeting, and that would be it. We've got affinity audiences, people that are generally interested in certain things based on their what they've been browsing online. So for example, let's choose home and garden, do-it-yourselfers. If you're selling an affiliate product related to woodworking, or if you've got an e-com store that sells this stuff, these two things would be great things to potentially target. So you may click on one of those, it goes over here, and we'll see the amount of potential traffic go down to 450 million. But although it's going down, it's getting more targeted. So we'll uncheck that for now because we were going to do a keyword campaign. So we'd come back down here. We won't worry about remarketing or these things because I'm going to presume as a brand new advertiser, you won't have a remarketing audience. But these are all things that you are going to need to consider as you grow. And if you want to learn this stuff, by the way, that I've got a course that I can advocate in the description. It's targeting beginners. If we come down here, keywords, topics and placements. Keywords is what we're going to target in this particular campaign. Placements are specific YouTube channels or specific videos that we would like our ads to appear in front of. If you'd like to do placements, I highly recommend a software called Vidnetics, which I will link to below. That allows you to automate the process. But let's click on keywords. So for example, I might type in how to lose tummy, spell it correctly, tummy fat. I could click on that and I could click on tummy fat as well. And we can kind of go through. Let's get rid of that and see if anything comes up for that. Okay, because okay, so tummy fat there. Now we've got some impressions here. If you want to know some great keywords, then you come on over to YouTube. Let me pause the video and open up YouTube. So here we are over at YouTube, and you just start typing in your main keyword. So in this case, it's tummy fat. And you can just see this autocomplete. These are actual real phrases that people are searching for. Now I could come here and I could type lose tummy fat, and I've got all these potential keywords that I could target. You'd want to go through and you'd want to look at the videos, see if there's a bunch of views on these videos. But for example, lose tummy fat could be a great one. Lose tummy fat diet plan. It really does depend on what your video is all about. But anyway, we'll head back over to the Google Ads interface and we'll start typing in these in. So let's say lose tummy fat in 3 days. Let's put that in. Let's see what that does. Lose tummy fat in 3 days. We could have tummy fat diet plan. And you want to go through and add a bunch of keywords. Now when people think, well, how many keywords? It really does depend on your niche and how much traffic these potential keywords get. If you're in a niche that doesn't have a lot of traffic, you're going to want to add more in, but I would advocate anything from, say, 3 to 10 keywords as a guide, but you could get away with 1. If there's a ton of people searching for, tummy fat diet plan, that may be more than enough to target that one specific keyword. But just to show you how this works, we'll leave these 3 keywords right now. We can see here we've now got 650,000 potential impressions. So our ad could be shown to 650,000 people approximately. Not all of them are actually going to view the ad, but we know that we're targeting people in the US of a specific demographic that will be typing in these keywords. So we do have some form of targeting in there. We're not going to do anything here. Now, maximum CPV, this is what you are prepared to pay for somebody to view your video. Remember we said a video view is 30 seconds or more of your video, or the whole video, whatever comes first. Now, we're not going to pay this. This is just what we're prepared to pay. So let me just, as an example, put in 20 cents. If I put in 20 cents, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to now put my video. Now, I don't have a video in the tummy fat niche. I've actually got a random video ready in the YouTube ads niche, but I'm just going to grab that video now anyway. I'm going to put my video in here, my video URL. I'm going to click on skippable in-stream ad as an example. So it's going to be a video that appears prior to other videos. And with this particular bid, this is what we're estimated to happen. It's estimated that I'm going to spend most of my budget. My average cost per view is actually going to be between 5 and 13 cents, and I'm going to get approximately 500 to 1.2 thousand views. Now, it could be more, it could be less. If I was to change this bid, let's change this to 13 cents and see what happens. Okay, now we can see that we're actually going to, it's changed our estimated performance. So you can, maybe I could go down and bid 10 cents. Okay, 10 cents no, so let's go back to 13 cents. Now this works like an auction process. So if you bid too low and other people that are targeting similar things are bidding higher than you, you're going to lose out on the auction. So your ad is less likely to be shown. So don't bid too low, but you've not got to bid crazy high. Now there are certain niches like make money online and all of that stuff where you've got a lot more competition. So you're probably going to have to bid higher on specific niches, but it really is trial and error at first. Now, as we have a skippable in-stream ad, this is what it's going to look like here. Here is where we want to add our URL. This is where we're going to send people. So let's pretend that we're going to send people to mylandingpage.com. That is where they're going to end up / opt-in-1. So that is where they're going to end up. Now that's quite an ugly long URL. So here, if we click here, it brings the whole thing down here, and we just get rid of this end part here. So let's pretend that your URL was losetommyfat.com. So here would be losetommyfat.com, and here would be the page or post on that domain that people would go to. So for example, losetommyfat.com /blog post /gift / whatever it might be. But it's imperative that they are on the same domain, and you really do need to have your security certificate these days, so make sure you have that set up and it's HTTPS. Here we can add a call to action, so we'll click on this. Now you can add generic words, for example click, but you might want to add something better. So for example, lose fat, for example. And as you can see, it populates here. Headline can be free recipes, free recipes, for example, whatever you've got to give away. Now you don't have many characters to play around with, but you can make sure that you put something specific as opposed to click here, because that is quite generic. You can preview what it looks like. So on desktop, it's going to look like this. And look, you see here, free recipes, lose fat, my landing pages. On mobile, it looks slightly different. It comes down here. Now, what you can also do is you can add what's called a companion banner. This is a graphic which people can click on to go to your landing page. And this graphic stays even if people have skipped your ad. So people might type in a keyword, lose tummy fat, start watching a video, your ad appears, but they think, no, I'm not interested, skip the ad, but your graphic remains here. And if your graphic is enticing, they can click on this and you can still have a second chance to get people to your content. So they can auto-generate one, but I would recommend this one, even though Google recommends you do the auto-generated one. And you can create a graphic that is 300 by 60 in pixels. So I'm going to pause the video and then I'll go and get a free resource that shows you how to do this. So here we are at canva.com. You can create a free account and you don't need anything more than Canva to create these banners. You don't need to be a graphics expert. I'm not at all. So create design. Then we're going to have a custom image, and you can see I've done this before, recent, but it's 300 by 60 pixels, so click on that, and that will open it up and it will provide the little template. Now, what I advocate, you don't put too much text on because it's going to be fairly small, but you may want to play around, have something that stands out, have something that's congruent to your landing page when it comes to colouring, and just maybe have a logo and a little bit of a wording. So they do have these banners that you can play around with, these templates I should say. But if I click on background, I can click on this little palette here, click on new colour, and let me choose like a little orangey one. So I could click on orange there. You can upload images as well. I've uploaded a bunch of things already, but you could upload images and find a logo. So for example, I could click on learn more, click outside, drag that over here. Maybe I've got a little logo or an image. I don't know, I could click on this little eye, bring that over as well. If you don't like it, just click on the graphic and hit delete. And you can play around with a bunch of things here. So let's get rid of that. And let's just click on, I don't have anything to lose. There, that's kind of lose weight related, isn't it? Make that a little bit bigger. Okay, click outside, drag it over here. Click on text. And I could, well, these are quite new ones actually. Let's see what that looks like. Glow. What does that look like? And then can I change that to, no, I can't change that. Okay, so let's delete that. That wasn't the best idea, was it? What am I doing? Playing around with this here. Let's delete that. Let's click on that. And let's put grab your recipes. Make it a bit bigger. Increase the font size to say 24. Bring that down a little bit. Make that there. Click outside, see if I can bring that up. Okay, looks good. So down and dirty, hit on download. We'll download that here. It's going to prepare the design. It's downloading automatically. Grab your recipe. We'll then come to video campaign. We'll choose a file. We'll come to downloads. It was grab your recipes. Open. That will upload the image. Give it a second or two. There we go. It's uploaded it here. If I click on desktop, you can see that it appears up here. And that is pretty much it. Now, if we have a bunch of different videos, we could call this, this is where we name our ad. So for example, it could be video 1 and it could be recipe hook. And then if I wanted to create a different video which gives away a different lead magnet, then I could, rename it here. Once we're happy, we hit create campaign. If we've made any mistakes, we'll get prompted to go and correct it. And once we've hit create campaign, then it's just a case of playing the waiting game. We've got to wait a little while for Google/YouTube to approve or disapprove our ad. And once it's approved, let it run for, 2 or 3 days. Don't be tempted to jump in and change stuff. And then come back in and look at the data and optimize. I'll make another video about how to read the data and optimize stuff. But that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got value from it. Please subscribe to the channel, give me a like, leave any comments and all that stuff, bell notification, all that stuff that people always tell you to do. And again, I've got a course in the description if you want to learn this stuff as a beginner. Other than that, cheers, and I will see you in another video. Take care. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions or you need more clarification, go and watch the video once more. Over on the right-hand side, we have some more trainings and reviews, so go and watch those as well. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and hit the bell notification. Other than that, ask any questions you've got below, and I'll see you soon.